Well, a very good afternoon to each and everybody. Daytime drag, everybody, don't we love it? But it was worth it, because today we got to interview Jinkx Monsoon and the wonderful Peaches Christ and the lovely Holestar, which puts different images in my mind, but whatever, with a name, it's fine. And we've been talking today about the new show that's coming to the Contact this weekend. It's sold out, apart from matinee tickets, but if you want a ticket, make sure you go and get one.
I'm Jinkx Monsoon.
I'm Joshua, aka Peaches Christ.
And I'm Holestar, hello.
So you're here in Manchester doing a lovely show for us. And tell us a bit about the show.
It's a parody of the fantastic movie Hocus Pocus, starring Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy.
And how similar is the show to the original movie?
It's fairly similar, just taking out anything that doesn't pertain to the queer community and replacing it with very queer references.
We do this all the time, actually, about all sorts of movies that we want to do shows for in the future, and we kind of create fantasy casts. And with the Hocus Pocus one, we knew that we wanted to do a show originally with her and myself and Belinda Scandal. And all three of us had been mutual friends, you know, for a while, and of course those two were sisters. And so they decided that I should play the Winnie character because they're so close that they didn't, I guess.
Neither one of us wanted to be the higher
the
status.
alpha.
Yeah, the
sister.
alpha. That's a good way of putting it. We had to
Challenge.
insist and kind of nudge her into the role of the lead in this circumstance. But then she ended up, I think it's one of her better characters I've seen her play, is her Winifred spoof. And then Ben and I took the other sisters and we had a great time. And then every new iteration of the cast has been wonderful. We just had Bob the Drag Queen play the Mary role in the Northwest of the Americas. And now we are graced by Holestar, and she's already doing a fantastic job.
And how did you come to be part of this then?
Do you know what? It was just out of the blue. One of the producers contacted me on Facebook and said, "The show's happening, would you like to be put forward?" And I was like, "Yes, of course." And I have no really good videos online. I'm one of those performers that I'm best when you get me live and I'm in your face and you can smell me. My videos don't really translate, but it got sent back to these guys and they kind of liked me, and here I am, and on with the show, as they say.
I was saying to Holestar, and this is no offense to the London drag scene at all, but when doing my research, it was a challenge to find London drag performers who did theater or traditional sketch comedy, which is not uncommon in the States either. A lot of drag scenes are bar and nightlife focused, and so you can easily find lip syncs and pageant videos. But theater, a lot of times, a drag theater scene might not even exist, in a city or place.
So how much is based solely on the script, and how much do you go away from the script when you're on stage?
Oh, in a Peaches Christ show, I would say that the script only we stick to the script about 75% of the time.
And you as drag queens seem to be wonderful at creating and working on characters. Have you stuck to the characters of the film much, or have you kind of put your own little spin on it a little bit?
I start with Sarah Jessica Parker's portrayal as the base of my character. But what's funny with my character is, since I'm playing the dumb slutty one, I really commit to being the dumb slutty one. But then I have these moments where Jinkx. I have these moments where Jinkx. I break out of the character and comment on what's happening.
Directing other drag queens, difficult? Not difficult?
Well, I would say that it's what I've done for so long that it's not difficult. And I was going to kind of build on what she said, which is that I want the characters on stage to be a mashup of your drag persona with the person you're embodying for the purposes of that stage show.
How are you finding Manchester?
drunk. No, I'm just kidding. We just got here yesterday.
Yeah.
I love Manchester because this is where I first was introduced to British drag queens. Really, before I even did anything in London, I came here in 2000. I think it was 2011, and met with a bunch of queens, some of whom are still part of this community now, and we did a show over at the Corner House Cinema for my movie premiere, and it was really totally special. And the producer of that show, Bryn, is the producer who's brought me back for all these years and took me and Lady Bear on a tour, with the BFI, showing our Bear Barella show around the UK. And so really Bryn, who's from Manchester, and brought us to Manchester the first time. I think of Manchester, no offense to London,
No.
but I think of Manchester as sort of my UK home away from home, because this is where my drag family is.
Yeah.
What would you say the differences or similarities between US and British drag is?
Well, when I first came here, I remember people saying, oh, you don't want to see that, that's a traditional British drag show. And I was like, no, I do want to see what that is. And it was interesting because it was more like a man wearing kind of like a house coat kind of thing, and maybe a wig, very little makeup, and doing kind of really offensive comedy. And I was really fascinated by it, but all the sort of creative artist types that I was with were sort of, kind of down on it a little bit. But it was interesting that at that time, when I was here, one of the performers in our show had never done drag before, Cheddar Gorgeous. And, I like to say that, I'm responsible for her and her career. I take
Sparked a flame.
What if you shoot me? What if you just pulled out a gun and shot me in the face? You're like, oh, it's you. Boom. But it's been amazing to come back to Manchester every year and to see in the period of like 6-7 years this scene here explode.
I love Manchester because I was born and raised in Portland, Oregon, and Manchester and Portland, and also kind of Seattle, have very similar vibes. And I love London. I work more in London than I do in Manchester, but this must be my 6th or 7th time I've come to do some sort of production in Manchester. And I love it here, not just for the shopping and the culture, but I like that it feels very alive and very queer friendly and very eccentric, but it's much smaller than London, and I feel much less overwhelmed, and I feel much less claustrophobic here. So I feel like I enjoy my time here a little bit more than in London because I'm not being overwhelmed.
Even though I'm based in London, I've been in London for 12 years, I actually prefer what they have here in Manchester because it's a smaller scene, because it feels more like a genuine family. Because in London there are so many people. Like back in the day, everyone was a club kid. Now everyone's a drag queen, and you're looking at, I say drag queens like gremlins these days. You put water on one, and then the next day the 10 appear overnight. I'm a drag queen. Like, okay.
Everyone I've ever hooked up with is now a drag queen. We're like werewolves. We reproduce by biting each other. Biting each other.
That's a vampire.
No, werewolves also. You get bit by a werewolf,
Yes,
you
true.
become a werewolf.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I don't know why she's trying to make me look like an idiot.
So there you go, that's exactly what it's all about. Hocum Pokem, which is difficult to say, means different things to everybody, is a wonderful parody of Hocus Pocus, that lovely Halloween film, which means we're very nearly near Halloween. So make sure you go and check it out. I've been Miss Belinda Scandal, you've been watching Showbiz Scandal. Shabba!